My Doctor, written by Mark Renshaw. Fade in. Interior cafe day. Mark, early 40s, sits alone at a table eating breakfast. He wears blue jeans and a Doctor Who t-shirt. He pauses mid-chew. An eyebrow raises as a familiar grinding noise is heard close by. It ends with a resounding clunk. The door opens. In bursts the actor, Matt Smith. He is in character as the famous TV Time Lord, the Doctor, complete with trademark bow tie and fez hat. He slams the door shut. A piece of bacon drops from Mark's mouth. The Doctor strides towards him, ready to shake hands.
You? But you're...
Doctor! Yes, so pleased to meet you.
Matt Smith!
The Doctor whips his hand back sharply.
Who? What?
Where's the camera?
With a frown, the Doctor extracts a sonic screwdriver from his jacket. It emits a high-frequency sound wave as he scans his surroundings.
What cameras? Who's Matt Smith? Is this some sort of trap?
As the screwdriver hovers near Mark's head, the sound wave spikes sharply.
Who are you? And why are you smiling like that?
Mark dabs his mouth with a napkin. He rises, holds out a trembling hand, and takes in a deep breath.
My name's Mark. I've just got to say, I'm a huge fan.
The Doctor leaps back. He points the screwdriver at the offending hand. The sonic pitch wavers. With a flick of his wrist, the troubled Time Lord examines the scanned results.
Definitely human-ish.
He flips the screwdriver off, places it back in his jacket.
Listen to me, laddo. I don't know what your game is, but... Ooh, is that bacon? Have you finished?
Quick as a flash, he snatches the bacon off the plate and gobbles it up.
Yum. Not bad. Needs custard, though.
Mark is unperturbed, starstruck.
Is this some sort of prank? Did Wendy arrange it for my birthday? I mean, how the fuck did she arrange this?
He stops short, surprised and confused at the strange noise which came out of his own mouth.
No need for that type of language, my boy.
How did that happen? Why can't I say... What did...
Profanity filter. I grew tired of all the swearing after the first 100 years, so I programmed the TARDIS to moderate it just a tad.
Mark nervously chews his lower lip.
This TARDIS, can I see it?
The Doctor smiles and winks.
I thought you'd never ask.
Interior TARDIS control room moments later. Mark rushes through the open doors of the TARDIS, shortly followed by the Doctor. With a gasp of astonishment, Mark attempts to take in his surroundings. The whole room is an exact replica of the Doctor's time-traveling spaceship. A golden-colored, multi-level steampunk-inspired room with a control console made up of many different components from many different eras. In shock, Mark darts to a side corridor. The Doctor casually leans against the main console.
Yes, I know, it's bigger on the inside, or smaller on the outside, whichever floats your boat, really.
Mark reappears. He is pale and sweats profusely.
No. This can't be.
He runs outside. The Doctor sighs and follows. Exterior, indoor shopping center, continuous. The TARDIS is in its default camouflage mode, as an old-fashioned blue police box. Mark leaps out of the main doors. He runs around the exterior, examines each side.
No, this can't be happening.
The Doctor strolls out of the TARDIS.
You get used to it, you know. Well, after the shock and the vomiting. And your brain realigning into a completely different viewpoint of the universe, of course.
Mark almost collides with the Doctor. He stumbles to a halt.
You don't get it, do you?
Guess what?
You don't exist.
Ah, I see. You are in the longest river in the world, aren't you?
What the...
The Nile.
He laughs at his own joke, slaps his thigh.
Do you get it?
Mark sighs.
No, I'm not in denial about the TARDIS being bigger on the inside, or that TARDIS stands for time and relative dimensions in space, or that you are a Time Lord.
The Doctor frowns.
Hey, has someone from UNIT been posting stuff on Twitter again?
No, I'm shocked because you are a TV show!
He points to his t-shirt.
Doctor Who! It's been running for 50 years and I've been watching it all my life!
Now that is a new one.
The sonic screwdriver is reactivated, used to scan Mark.
So this can't be real, which means I've either gone mental or...
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Tell me, why is this not real?
What? You mean apart from the impossible spaceship and you Sporting your fez like it's normal?
The doctor nods. Mark glances around for inspiration.
Well, for a start, there's a big blue police box in the middle of the shopping center, and no one is paying it the slightest bit of attention. I'd call that odd.
Ah, that's easy. The TARDIS can hide in plain sight. It can generate brainwave patterns, which makes people not notice it. I call it the not my problem field. Isn't that clever?
Oh, God, no.
I thought it was a good name.
No, that's a famous line from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams used to write Doctor Who.
You just made that up.
Mark grabs the doctor by his jacket.
Hey, what are you...
Proving a theory. Come with me.
He drags him over to a passing female shopper.
Excuse me, miss, sorry to bother you, but you know who this is?
He points to the doctor.
Hello, I'm the... Shh! How rude.
The shopper scowls.
No, I don't. And I'm not buying Sky or whatever it is you're trying to sell. Now, excuse me.
She slips away. The doctor smiles smugly.
See?
That proves nothing. I probably picked the only person in the world who doesn't know who you are.
Mark spots an unoccupied bench nearby. He leaps onto it.
Hey, excuse me, everyone! Sorry, excuse me, please.
This grabs the shopper's attention.
Thank you. Hands up, anyone here who is a Doctor Who fan?
Most of them raise their hand.
Excellent!
He drags the doctor onto the bench.
Look, it's Matt Smith!
The doctor waves his hand nervously. The crowd roars as they recognize him. As one, they rush forward.
Oh, crikey.
The doctor is mobbed by fans. Mark slips away and discreetly enters the TARDIS. Interior, TARDIS main control room, moments later. Mark is slumped on the floor, lost in thought. The doctor bursts through the door. He slams it shut behind him. His jacket is torn, his bow tie dangles loose, and the fez is gone.
Complete animals. I'd rather face the entire Dalek Armada than those monsters again.
He straightens out his jacket, notices Mark sat staring on the floor.
So, what was all that about? What did that prove?
With tears in his eyes, Mark glances up.
It proves I'm not crazy. If others can see you, then I'm not delusional.
With a kind smile, the doctor crouches down nearby.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
No, it's not. This can't be real. It just can't. If I'm not crazy, if other people can see you, then, well, I must be in a coma. Something bad must have happened.
The sonic screwdriver is whipped out. The doctor uses it to scan Mark and check the results.
Nope, definitely not in a coma. Slightly unevolved, but that's not your fault. You've got a few million years before you develop telepathy and all the cool stuff.
Despite his predicament, Mark chuckles. The doctor passes him a silk handkerchief covered in question marks.
That's the spirit.
Mark wipes his eyes. The brief smile fades.
I don't remember how I got here.
Well, you kind of laid a trap for me involving rabid fanatics, and then we walked into the TARDIS.
No, I mean in the cafe. Last thing I recall is going to bed with my wife. Next thing I'm eating breakfast and a fictional character is stealing my bacon. There's something wrong with me. I must be in a coma.
With a spring in his step, the doctor dashes over to the console. He presses buttons, pulls levers randomly.
Nope, definitely not a coma. I'm kind of an expert in comas. I've had 36 in total.
The TARDIS engines fire up.
What you have sounds like the time I challenged the face of Bo to a drinking contest.
I'm not hungover. Hey, why are you starting up the TARDIS?
You, Milado, are a mystery, and I like mysteries. I want to know why this world has a TV show based on me. I want to know more about you, or more precisely, what you think you know about me.
And what if I am in a coma? What if none of this is real?
Then convince me. Prove to me this is all a creation of your primitive little mind.
He holds out his hand. Mark stares at it, unsure.
Well, what if I'm right? What if I don't wake up? What if I die?
The doctor whips his hand back behind his back.
Do you know why the Time Lords invented clocks?
What? They did?
Because life for mortals is like a bomb. It can end at any time.
He draws close to Mark until they are face to face.
And we wanted to give you a constant reminder that this time could be now, 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 now.
Ow!
But no, the rest of the Time Lords said a clock blurting out now every second was too obvious. Tick-tock is more subtle, they argued. Well, I told them.
What the? What the heck are you saying?
Again, the doctor offers his hand.
I'm saying, unlike me, you only have one life. Why not take a chance and live it for a while, instead of worrying about when it will end?
Mark dabs his eyes with the handkerchief. He accepts the doctor's hand and is pulled to his feet. Smirking, the doctor returns to the controls.
Okay, first test. You can go anywhere in the universe, anywhere, meet anyone. What do you choose?
That's easy. Find me a Dalek.
What?
Interior, spaceship corridor, day. The doctor winces and cringes uncomfortably at the sounds of something with an electronic voice being tapped nearby.
Stop immediately, or you will be exterminated!
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Metallic clangs and bashes cease. Mark joins the doctor. He beams with satisfaction and slaps his hands together.
Now that's how you deal with a Dalek.
Revealed is a Dalek, a tank-like robotic shell in distress. Its sucker arm has been removed and stuck onto its eye stalk.
Help me! Help! I'm blind!
Well, what do you think? Could I have done this if this was real?
The doctor grabs hold of Mark's shoulders. He gazes directly into his eyes.
I've been alive 1,000 years, and that is beyond the shadow of a doubt. The funniest thing I have ever seen.
They both burst into laughter. The Dalek rolls past, bumps into a wall, and spins around aimlessly.
Do not laugh. Do not laugh.
The Dalek shoots a few random laser shots from its gun stick. They duck, run around a corner in the opposite direction.
So, what now, coma boy?
Mark rubs his chin in contemplation and smiles. The doctor's grin fades.
Am I going to like this?
Exterior, planet Talos, later. A metallic, cybernetically augmented humanoid guards the entrance to a cave. This is another of the doctor's feared foes, a Cyberman. Mark and the doctor are both hidden behind a nearby rock.
You realize this won't work.
Why not?
It's a Cyberman. They have electrified bodies and defenses and nasty things.
It will, trust me. Just do what I said and see what happens.
Before the doctor can respond, Mark boldly steps out into the open, his hands held above his head.
Hello! I want to be upgraded!
The Cyberman marches over.
You need not fear. Cybermen will remove fear. Cybermen will remove sex and class and color and creed. You will become identical. You will become like us.
Yes, remove my fear, remove my class, my underwear, I surrender!
It stomps past the rock, halts next to Mark.
Are you prepared?
Not yet! I may need to go to the toilet first!
Humor is futile. To struggle is futile. You belong to us. You will be like us. Are you prepared?
No! Are you prepared?
That is inconsistent and illogical. You will modify.
Now!
Cyberman attempts to grab him, but Mark ducks and pushes with all of his might. It topples over, thanks to the doctor, who is hunched down on all fours behind it. The doctor springs to his feet, brushes dust off his pants.
So that's what cyber squatting is. Love it. What now?
What do you mean, what now?
Well, they don't stay down forever, you know.
The Cyberman rolls onto its front.
You will be deleted.
The duo exchange glances. They will smile mischievously as the Cyberman rises to its feet.
Run?
The doctor nods. They break into a run. Interior, TARDIS storeroom night. A vast array of clothing, everyday items, and bric-a-brac lay strewn about the room. Mark spots an axe in the corner. He picks it up.
That's odd. Why would you need an axe? You don't approve of weapons.
The doctor shuffles uncomfortably and looks down at his feet.
It's just a thing I tried after watching the movie. It looked cool.
Flashback 2. Interior TARDIS storeroom, 1863, day. The doctor is dressed as Abraham Lincoln. He sports a top hat and a convincing-looking beard. An axe is balanced perfectly in the palm of his hand. Slowly, he spins it using both hands. Gaining confidence, he spins faster. Then faster still as he swaps it from one hand to the other. Suddenly, he loses control. The axe spins high into the air. The doctor ducks, covering his head with his arms as the axe clatters to the floor. He wanders away embarrassed. Moments later, he rushes back into view and stomps on the axe. Back to present. Interior, TARDIS main control room night. Mark holds his sides as he laughs.
That's hilarious.
The laughter ceases abruptly. He glances around.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. How did we end up here? And for that matter, how come I could see this flashback?
We walked, if I remember correctly, and technically it was a flash forward. The axe doesn't exist yet.
What? Never mind. Stop avoiding the question. How could I see it?
Well, the TARDIS can...
Oh, wait! Don't tell me! The TARDIS can transmit past and future events from its own timeline into my brain like a wireless neural interface.
Frowning, the doctor extracts a sonic screwdriver and uses it to examine Mark's head.
I'll take that as a yes.
Do you realize I'll soon figure out how you know these things?
TV show, remember? Although I don't recall that particular explanation, the writers sometimes make things up as they go along. It can be charming, however, it can also be annoyingly convenient. For example, a sonic screwdriver that can do almost anything?
Slowly, the doctor places the screwdriver back in his jacket. He holds a hand over it protectively.
Don't diss the device. Best invention in the universe ever.
Hey, can the TARDIS do montages?
The doctor smirks as he pushes a lever.
Kind of.
Montage. Exterior, park, day. The duo are out with the doctor's faithful robotic canine companion, the aptly named K9. Mark grips a rubber ball, ready to throw.
Now, K9, fetch!
Ball is thrown. K9 tracks the trajectory of the object with his targeting computer. He shoots it with a laser beam from his nose. The ball explodes. Mark frowns. The doctor claps enthusiastically.
Good boy! He's not a good boy. That is not how you fetch a ball.
K9 wags his tail antenna.
Good boy. Yes, master.
Another ball is produced from the doctor's jacket. He beams with excitement. Mark sighs, his shoulders slow. Interior, TARDIS storeroom, day. Mark strolls out of the changing room. He is dressed in different styles of clothing, none of which match.
See? See how ridiculous it is? This is how you look, and trust me, this is tame compared to some of your previous incarnations.
The doctor circles Mark. He whips out a magnifying glass to examine the outfit in more detail.
I'm so claiming dibs on this for my next regeneration.
Mark punches the doctor on the shoulder. Exterior, surface of the planet Mars, night. 2 red spacesuits dot the Martian landscape. Mark and the doctor are busy. They lift rocks, carry them, place them down in different locations. The job done, they step back to survey their handiwork. From above, it can be seen the rocks have been formed into the words which read, Doctor Who was here, LOL. Interior, betting shop, 1977, day. At the betting window, Mark is next in line. He glances from side to side discreetly and places a large amount of cash on the counter.
All of it on red rum to win the Grand National.
From out of nowhere, the doctor appears at Mark's side with a twinkle in his eye and a wry smile. He notices the money and Mark's guilty look. The smile turns quickly into a scowl. He grabs Mark by the ear and drags him out of the shop. Fade to black. Super. Several weeks later. Interior, TARDIS control room, night. A view screen depicts a succession of beautiful female companions for the Doctor's various incarnations.
So, you're telling me the reason I haven't been interested in rumpy-pumpy with my former companions isn't because I'm noble or old enough to be beyond that sort of thing. It's because I'm on TV before the 9 p.m. watershed.
Afraid so, Doctor.
The Doctor brushes the screen away in disgust.
Oh, that's just not fair.
Mark hands the Doctor a piece of paper with a list of names scribbled on it.
What's this?
It's a list of directors I suggest you call. I think it's time for a reboot, a reimagination of the TV show. I think it's time for a gritty, realistic Doctor Who, an adult Doctor Who, if you get my meaning.
A blank stare from the Doctor. Mark winks. The penny finally drops as the Doctor breaks out into a wide grin. He scrambles into the back room.
Where did I put that phone?
Just remember, you're Matt Smith, not the Doctor.
Pleased with himself, Mark enjoys the moment. He glances around the TARDIS, really taking it in. Suddenly, pain lances through his body. It drives him to his knees. He cries out. The pain slowly subsides. Mark recovers. He glances at his hand. It appears normal.
No regeneration for me, it seems.
The TARDIS goes dark.
Doctor? Doctor!
A moment of deathly silence, then
Such a foolish waste of energy.
The electronically distorted voice takes Mark by surprise. A cone of light shines down over the dark side of the room. It reveals Davros, creator of the Daleks. Sat in his Dalek chair, he looks down upon Mark with his lifeless, fused shut eyes.
Oh, God, no. Davros. Doctor, where are you?
Davros flips a switch on the chair's control panel. He glides towards Mark. The cybernetic eye in his forehead pulses with pale blue light.
Yes, you know who I am. But tell me, do you know what I represent?
I think so, yes. Your death.
Excellent! He can't help. You know that, don't you? The Doctor, he's but a figment. The only truth here is the end. Your extermination!
Doctor! Help me! I'm afraid.
Davros cackles. Distorted laughter.
Good! Fear is the ultimate weakness, the beginning of your acceptance. Accept your fate. It will all be over soon.
The cone of light collapses. Mark is left alone in the dark.
This is it.
The lights flicker back to life, as do the consoles and the engines of the TARDIS. The Doctor saunters out of the back room, the list in one hand, a pen in the other. He ticks off several names.
Well, can't say I'm too impressed, really. Quentin Tarantino overloaded my profanity filter. I really didn't fancy going through the hell Christopher Nolan wanted to put me through. J.J. Abrams seemed keen. Too keen, really. He said yes and put the phone down before I even introduced myself. And then... Hey, are you alright?
Mark picks himself up off the floor.
No, I'm not all right. Davros was here.
The Doctor spins around, surveys the TARDIS.
Where? Impossible. Screenshot or it never happened.
But he was. Well, it wasn't him, not really. My coma must be getting worse, and I'm just playing around here, wasting time with you.
I've told you before, that's poppycock. We're in a parallel universe, that's all.
I don't even know why I'm arguing with you. This is all in my head, just like life on Mars.
Are you insane? Life on Earth is nothing like life on Mars. There's the gravity for a start, and then there's...
Mark slaps his hands down on the console.
We've been together ages now. I've shown you things that are impossible. I know everything about you. If you really are the Doctor, if this is really a parallel universe, why haven't you investigated? Why haven't you asked me a single question about it?
No response. Mark grips him by his jacket.
You see? You can't answer because you're not real. You can't answer because this is just a fantasy. My fantasy. And you don't have an answer because I don't have an answer.
The Doctor pushes him away sharply.
You claim to know everything about me. Me? You know nothing. I experience, I observe. I let others ask the questions, watch them falter, and I learn. I'm learning everything about you, your universe, and more besides. So don't you lecture me, Marcus Delinius.
Mark stands defiant for a moment, then crumples to the floor. The Doctor kneels down nearby.
Marcus Delinius. That's what my mom used to call me before she died. Oh, Doctor, I'm so afraid.
Hey, look at me.
Mark gazes up, looks directly into the Doctor's ancient eyes.
Did you know the Cherokees believe inside every one of us lives two wolves? One wolf represents all our fear and hatred. The other contains all our love and serenity, all our joy and bravery. Throughout our entire lives, these wolves are constantly fighting.
Mark gulps, wipes away his tears.
Which one wins?
The Doctor smiles.
The one we feed.
He pulls Mark to his feet and slaps him on the shoulder.
I didn't know that. How could you say something to me I didn't know?
Maybe you do know and you forgot. Or maybe this is real enough, and if you believe, if you keep an open mind, maybe you'll even survive.
He winks.
You know something, don't you?
Always. Or I could be lying. Either way, what have you got to lose? So come on, time is the fire in which we burn, as they say. Well, it never burns me, I just get a slight tan.
Doctor scans the names on the list.
So, who's next? Wait a minute. You bowed.
Laughing lightly, Mark snatches the list. He crumbles it into a ball and tosses it over his shoulder.
You are right. No time for that, Herr Doctor. It seems like you need a few more lessons and I've got more theories to prove.
Mark leaps over to the console. He flicks a few controls.
Hey, what are you doing?
Piloting.
With growing confidence, he operates the console. He pushes buttons, pulls levers, and spins things.
Oh, it's not as simple as picking stuff at random, you know. It takes years of training at the Gallifrey Academy before you are even allowed in a simulator.
The TARDIS engines fire up. Mark grins.
I believe it is as simple as that. I believe the TARDIS takes you where you want to be or where you need to go. And if this is my coma, then it's my rules.
With his arms crossed, the Doctor tries to look stern, but a smirk on his face betrays his amusement.
Okay. But don't blame me if we end up on the wrong side of a black hole, or transmogrify into an inverted cat or something.
With a sharp clunk, the TARDIS lands. The Doctor casually strolls over to the monitor. Mark whips it out of view.
So, where are we then?
Time to prove another theory. Come with me, if you dare.
He drags the Doctor towards the exit.
How many theories have you got?
11.
There's no such number.
The TARDIS doors open.
Exactamundo.
They both leave. Interior, TARDIS main control room later. They both return covered from head to toe in purple residue. The Doctor is beaming, highly amused. Mark seems equally satisfied at their adventure.
A purple tan. Fully clothed as well. Never done that before. Quite fun, really. What was that stuff?
It's a gas. A gas in the praxis range of the spectrum.
The Doctor's jaw drops.
Are you mad?
Gotcha! You're supposed to be allergic to praxis gas.
And what would you have done if I went into prophylactic shock? What if I turned into a giant blueberry like the kid in the chocolate factory?
Mark produces a piece of celery from his pocket.
I would have made you eat this. Found some in the storage cupboard. So explain that, Dr. Smarty Pants. If this were real, you'd have had an allergic reaction back there, so why didn't you?
The Doctor snatches up the celery, takes a bite and ponders.
I miss wearing vegetables, you know. Surprised it never took off as a fashion. Not even in Manchester.
Stop diverting.
He tosses the remains of the celery behind him.
Stop gloating. The answer is so simple I can't believe you've not thought of it already. Just because Peter Daniels...
Davison.
Don't interrupt me when I'm winning. Yes, whatever you call that previous incarnation, just because he was allergic to praxis gas doesn't mean any other versions of me are. Every regeneration is different. We are unique.
Mark's face drops.
So childish. Well, come on. Off to the sonic showers we go, and then you can amaze me with another theory. I actually find them quite amusing, you know.
The Doctor guides a disgruntled Mark out of the control room, deeper into the TARDIS. Interior, TARDIS corridor, later. Mark exits the sonic showers, residue-free. He brushes his pants down.
Wow! That was amazing! It's all gone. So quick as well. Hey, I just had a thought. Let's get Canine and,
He realizes he's alone, glances back over his shoulder.
Doctor? Doctor!
The lights dim, stutter. The cloister bell, the alarm system of the TARDIS, rings with a deep echo that reverberates throughout the whole ship.
Oh no.
Pain seizes him. He flinches and grabs his leg in agony. A noise from behind distracts him and he spins around. There's a vague humanoid shape at the far end of the corridor, partially hidden in the shadows. He squints, trying to see who or what it is. A single pale blue light activates in the darkness. Davros glides out of the shadows. Mark screams in fear, turns and limps away. Interior, TARDIS backup control room moments later. Mark stumbles into a more basic, cut-down version of the console room with a white color scheme. He spots a large red lever near the door. Wincing in pain, he makes his way over and pulls it. The TARDIS doors swing open inwards. Sensing freedom, Mark limps towards the exit. He spots something, stumbles backwards in shock and scrambles into a corner. In walks the arch enemy of the Doctor, the renegade Time Lord known as the Master. The Master's face is in flux. It flickers between actors who have portrayed this character, from the original Roger Delgado up to John Sim.
I only need two things: your submission and your obedience to my will!
Just like his face, the voice changes randomly.
No! I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to die.
Pain again racks Mark's body. The Master's many faces smile in satisfaction.
Life is wasted on the living.
The distant sound of the cloister bell fades, slowly replaced by the beating of a drum. The Master mimics the beat with synchronous taps of his finger on the console.
The drumming. Can you hear it? inside my head. I thought it would stop, but it never does. It never stops inside my head.
The master pauses. Suddenly he slams his hand down on the console once, twice, 3 times.
He will knock 4 times.
Slams again.
4 times!
The master laughs his ancient manic laugh. Mark howls in terror. He leaps to his feet and flees into the corridor. Interior corridor continuous. Despite his injuries and pain, Mark runs for his life. The dim lights flash, the cloister bell rings, the drums beat over and over.
How many more? Just think, how many have died in your name, Doctor? Now it ends. Can you hear the drums? Now it ends!
Delirious, with tears streaming down his face, Mark scrambles onwards in the dark. He stumbles through a door. Interior, TARDIS main control room continuous. Mark falls through the doorway back into the main control room. It is empty, dark, and grows darker still. There is only the sound of pain and labored breath as Mark crawls into a corner. He turns onto his back just as the final lights go out.
Doctor, please don't let me die here alone.
His reply is silence. He sobs alone in the dark. A faint green glow lights up nearby. It grows brighter to reveal the face of the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, who blows gently upon a tiny ember.
I just wasted another 10 years of my life, and I think it's going to be worth every second.
David Tennant?
David releases the ember into the air. It sails around his head, illuminating him and the Matt Smith Doctor.
Now, I'm the doctor if you don't mind. Well, technically we both are, but we couldn't let you die alone, and, well, to be blunt, we had a question for you.
So you do admit this is all in my head?
He does. I don't.
That's quite enough of that, thank you. Now, back to the question. Which one is your favorite?
What?
Which one is your favorite doctor, him or me?
Me or him?
Mark laughs, winces in pain.
I like you both.
Oh, come on.
See, I told you he'd say that.
You did not. You said he'd pick you.
Oh, lies.
I love you all, in different ways.
Oh, please, he won't be offended when you pick me.
I won't. But you will be offended when he picks me.
No, it's true. Every actor brought something new and compelling, something different to the role. And I fell in love with each and every one of you.
Both incarnations of the Doctor smile.
But if I had to choose one...
Yes?
Well, they say your doctor, the one that stays with you throughout your entire life, is the first one you see as a child.
Mark catches his breath, then continues.
And it's true. The doctor, my doctor, is and always shall be Tom Baker.
Which one is he?
Big scarf bloke.
Ah, yes, of course. I enjoyed being him. I sweated a lot, but it was worth it. Scarves are cool.
Mark smiles, but it slowly fades.
What's it like?
What's what like?
Dying.
How should I know? I regenerate.
Just humor me, please. You regenerate. You essentially die and then come back to life as a different person. You keep on telling me things I don't know, so you just tell me what it feels like when you die.
I can handle this. After all, I died and became you.
Matt nods. David crouches next to Mark.
Like you, I didn't want to go, but it was my time. When I regenerated, everything was destroyed at a cellular level and then rebuilt from scratch. My consciousness is never born, never dies. It only changes. My ego, personal beliefs, and identity, they all die. But who cares? I get new ones.
Mark grabs David's hand, gripping it tightly.
But what happens after I die? Can you tell me? Do you know?
You have been immortal eons before the moment you were born, and will be forever more after your body fades away. Do you understand?
Not really, no.
It took energy to give you life. That energy had to come from somewhere. When you die, where do you think that energy will go?
Heaven? I don't know.
David looks up. Mark follows his gaze. The ceiling of the TARDIS is replaced by a vast, clear night sky full of stars. It is vast and beautiful.
You are a child of the universe. When this temporary form fades away, you'll go back to where it came from, out there to the stars.
David pats Mark's hand, then rejoins Matt. Mark gazes at the night sky in awe. His breathing is steady. He is relaxed and ready to accept his fate.
I met him, you know. My doctor. I was a child at a book signing. He was this giant of a man, much bigger than me, much bigger than when I'd seen him on the telly. It was my turn. He looked at me and smiled this impossible, enormous smile. It was full of mischief and kindness and aimed 100% at me. I handed him my book, he signed it, and then leaned in close and said,
"Hello. Would you like a jelly baby?"
Mark gasps, his eyes fly open, and he sits up sharply. Next to him is the shadowy but unmistakable profile of the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker. He hands Mark a jelly baby.
Tom Baker.
Tom stands up. The lights of the TARDIS are a little brighter. Matt and Tom shake hands rigorously.
What's going on? I thought this was all over.
Humans have got such limited little minds. I don't know why I like you so much.
Exactly! Couldn't have said it better myself, when technically I just did. And you, call yourself a Doctor Who fan. That was the cliffhanger ending that was, although I admit the pacing was a bit off.
I don't understand.
You know, where it all looks like I'm doomed, but suddenly I find a way to save the day.
But this is my dream. I'm in a coma and I'm dying. There's nothing you can do. I can feel it happening.
Shush. I'm about to go off on one big style. Just lie back and enjoy the show.
The TARDIS doors swing open. The light inside grows stronger as in walks the original Doctor Who, William Hartnell.
That's William Hartnell. He...
Yes, that's me, when I was young being old. Now be quiet.
William strolls boldly to the control console.
One day I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
He stations himself at a section of the control console. The Peter Cushing version of the Doctor wanders in. He looks a bit lost, confused.
Hey, wait a minute. He's not canon.
Ah, yes, but you admired Peter Cushing. As a child, you liked watching his doctor face the Daleks. You didn't know or care he wasn't classed as an official doctor then, did you?
No, but... Well, now I...
No, you nothing. Just stay there, dying quietly, why don't you?
Peter Cushing approaches Mark. He points directly at him.
Do you know what you have just done?
What, me?
You have transferred us in time and space, and I haven't even set the controls. We could be anywhere in the universe, and at any time.
I'm sorry, but
Peter Cushing rubs his hands together.
Rather exciting, isn't it?
He hobbles around the control console and wanders out of the TARDIS just as Patrick Troughton, second actor to portray the Doctor, enters.
There are some corners of the universe that have bred the most terrible things. Things that act against everything we believe in. They must be fought.
He extracts his sonic screwdriver, positions himself behind William, and points it at the console. The third Doctor, John Pertwee, walks into the TARDIS.
Courage isn't the matter of not being frightened, you know. It's being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway.
They're quoting themselves. Saying all my favorite lines. Why?
Matt shushes him with a finger to his lips. John joins Patrick at the console with his sonic screwdriver at the ready. Tom Baker takes up position next to John. He extracts his version of the sonic screwdriver.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor. The definitive article, you might say.
John sighs. The TARDIS lights are back in full power. The fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, enters the TARDIS.
That's the trouble with regeneration. You never quite know what you're going to get.
He takes up position on the opposite side of the console. Mark beams with joy. In geek heaven. He pops the jelly baby into his mouth as the sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, wanders in.
This is a situation that requires tact and finesse. Fortunately, I'm blessed with both.
Colin glances at his fellow doctors. He frowns, unimpressed, but reluctantly joins Peter at the controls. The seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, makes his entrance.
There are worlds out there where the sky is burning and the seas asleep and the rivers dream. People made of smoke and cities made of song. Somewhere there's danger, somewhere there's injustice, and somewhere else the tea's getting cold.
He whips out his silver sonic screwdriver, fumbles, it tumbles to the floor. He picks it up, apologizing to everyone, embarrassed. He points it at the control console. Doctor number 8, Paul McGann, runs through the door. He skids to a halt.
I came back to life before your eyes. I held back death. Look, I can't make your dream come true forever, but I can make it come true today.
He bows, extracts his sonic screwdriver gracefully, and joins his previous incarnations. There's a pause. All the doctors glance expectantly over their shoulders.
Oh, come on, number 9. There's always one, isn't there?
Matt stomps out of the TARDIS. Moments later, he reappears, dragging the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, by his ear.
Ow! Is there any need for that? If it weren't for me, the show would have stayed cancelled.
Matt positions Chris next to Paul.
Just say your line, checks in the mail.
You think it'll last forever? People and cars and concrete, but it won't. One day it's all gone, even the sky. My planet's gone, it's dead. It burned like the earth. It's just rocks and dust before its time.
Chris reluctantly extracts his sonic screwdriver and aims it at the control console.
He's so melodramatic, isn't he?
He winks at Mark and takes his position around the console, extracts his sonic screwdriver.
I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castorbarus. I'm 903 years old, and I'm the man who's going to save your lives and all 6 billion people on the planet below. You've got a problem with that?
He clicks his fingers, the main door closes. William, Peter, and Colin fire up the TARDIS engines. Their hands dance fluently over the various controls. The rest of the doctors activate their sonic screwdrivers. They weave them majestically in the air. The TARDIS responds in kind. The lights grow brighter. The grinding of the engines grow louder.
I don't understand. What are they doing? Why are they all here?
The Matt Smith Doctor slaps his hands together.
Do you know what a coma is? No, you don't, do you? A coma is a locked-in state, a condition of unresponsiveness from which an individual has not yet been aroused. Notice the emphasis on the word yet.
Reverse the polarity on the neutron flow.
Oh, what a good idea.
Matt confronts John, grabs him by the shoulders. John nods. The two doctors merge briefly before Matt absorbs John. There's no trace of the previous Time Lord. A surge of power pulses through the Matt Smith Doctor.
What was that?
I told you I'd been studying you, and I have. I know everything about you, and more besides.
A risk shared is a risk doubled.
Indeed it is.
Matt casually strolls through Peter. The two doctors merge, then stretch like a rubber band. The two doctors sharing the same skin. They snap together, leaving Matt standing alone. The energy levels throb through Matt's body.
In a coma, new connections can be made between brain cells where connections have been lost. Parts of the brain take over the function of other parts that have been damaged.
Yes, but this isn't real. It's all a dream.
Rest is for the weary, sleep is for the dead.
Matt shakes Colin by the hand. They merge briefly, separate, then merge again. Matt absorbs Colin. Power increases. Matt is visibly shaken by the process. He leans against the control console.
This is your brain trying to repair the damage. Your brain picked me, the Doctor, the ultimate sensory stimulation program, to fix you.
How? How can you fix my brain?
Time will tell, always does.
Sylvester approaches his future incarnation. They share in a salute. Suddenly, Sylvester hops into Matt's arms. He giggles in delight as he is absorbed into Matt's body. Matt staggers with the increase in power.
Never underestimate an organ that named itself.
Matt limps towards Patrick.
Life depends on change and renewal.
Patrick extracts his trademark flute. He plays a few notes. Patrick hands over the flute to Matt. Matt reaches out to accept, but Patrick pulls it away at the last moment. They both chuckle, grasp arms, and merge. Matt absorbs Patrick. Power increases. Matt goes down on one knee. He takes a few deep breaths, then rises.
I can fix anything. Get out of any situation. You've watched me do this 1,000 times.
Power in the TARDIS fluctuates. Warning lights flash. Smoke rises from several panels. Matt staggers over to William.
Our destiny is in the stars, so let's go and search for it.
Matt bows. William nods in acknowledgement and opens his arms. Matt walks into William, absorbing him in the process. Power increase rocks Matt. Several power conduits around the room explode.
If anyone can fix your brain and bring you out of this coma, it's me. The madman in a box. But to do so, you've got to believe in it. You've got to believe in me.
Chris approaches Matt.
I want to tell you, you are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And you know what? So was I.
He beams his big smile at Matt, who smiles in return. They engage in a hug and pat each other on the back. Matt absorbs Chris. Pain racks Matt. He slumps to the ground. Tom and Paul pick Matt up and support him on each arm.
Your mind has to accept that this is real. that I'm real, and I have enough power to do what I do best.
I love humans. Always seeing patterns in things that aren't there.
Matt concentrates. Paul is sucked into Matt's body. Tom winks at Mark.
There's no point being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
He too is sucked into Matt's body. Matt screams. Several consoles explode, but Matt has control over the power now. It throbs and courses steadily through his body. David approaches Matt. They stand off, face to face, stare at each other, deadly serious.
Your turn now. Hey, stop that! Bang! Rose Tyler, Michael Jones, Donna Noble, TARDIS. Shamble, dobble, dibble, doodle. Oh, Doctor, you're so handsome. Yes, I am. Thank you.
They circle each other warily.
I know your real name, your true name, the one you keep secret. It's Slaughterfest, Throat Wobbler Mango Dave.
They break out into a big grin and grip each other's arms, hugging fiercely. David turns to address Mark.
Remember, don't turn your back, don't look away, and don't blink.
He breaks out into a huge grin.
Elmsey?
David runs 360 degrees around the console and dives into Matt's chest. Matt absorbs David. He roars in pain, but keeps it under control.
More! I need more power!
He rips the paneling off the control panel, exposing the Time Vortex energy core.
I solve the insoluble by the strangest means. I see the threads that join the universe together and mend them when they break. I'm a savant, an insane man, a little of each and a great deal more of something else.
He holds out his hands. The power from the TARDIS begins to flow into his body. His voice sounds like it is coming from all directions at once.
I'm the fleeting shadow that flirts over your dreams, the flicker in the corner of your eye. If you ever wake up and think the world has somehow been altered, it has, because I've been there.
The last of the power ebbs from the TARDIS into the Doctor. He has absorbed all of the power of time and space. Mark's mouth is open in astonishment.
I've faced ancient hordes and vast empires, toppled entire civilizations with but a single whisper. Do you know who I am?
The Doctor?
Do you know who I am?
The Doctor!
And do you believe in me?
Yes!
Do you believe in me?
Yes!
Matt takes in a deep breath. All the energy condenses into his hand and then disappears. He holds it out, right in front of Mark's face, posed to click his fingers.
I'm sometimes known as the oncoming storm, the Valiant, Theta Sigma, and many more besides, but they are irrelevant. The name I chose, the promise I made, was the Doctor. So listen to me, Marcus Delimus, and believe. I'm the Doctor, and I order you to wake up!
Clicks his fingers. Exterior, deep space, continuous. The TARDIS drifts amongst the stars, a blue police box spinning alone in the void. Suddenly it explodes. A huge arc of fiery energy spills out in all directions. Interior, hospital bed, day. Darkness. There are muffled voices. Mark opens his eyes, but it is all fuzzy. He can see shapes, but nothing discernible.
Well, he'll be okay as soon as we give him a second heart.
Mark rubs his eyes. His vision clears. At his bedside are three of the Doctor's recent female companions who look incredibly stunning dressed as nurses. The Doctor's wife, River Song, fiery red-headed Amy Pond, and the impossible girl, Clara Oswald. River notices he's awake. She winks at him.
Hi, sweetie.
Amy leans over, shines a light in his eyes.
He's no Rory, but he's kind of cute.
Clara places the stethoscope over his heart.
Easy does it, Tiger. We don't want your blood pressure getting any higher now, do we?
Mark struggles to stay awake, but fails. He slips back into unconsciousness. Interior hospital bed, moments later. Mark's wife, Wendy, and his sister, Nikki, are sat at Mark's bedside. Both appear tired, disheveled. Mark's eyes open. Wendy notices. She grabs Nikki by the arm.
Look, he's waking up. He's waking up.
Oh my God, get the doctor, quick.
They run out of the room, shouting for the doctor. Interior hospital bed later. The doctor is examining Mark.
Well, Mark, I can hardly believe it. I've seen some miracles during my time, but you, sir, you go to the top of the list. Against the oods, you wake up and no sign of brain damage.
Did you say oods?
The doctor whips out a medical light pen.
Your vision and hearing may be a bit quirky for a while.
He uses the pen to examine Mark's eyes. It briefly makes a sound not unlike a sonic screwdriver.
You, sir, are a lucky man.
It was the doctor.
Yes, well, I can't take all the credit. You did the hard work. Now, rest up. If you continue to improve at this rate, you should be out by the end of the week.
He shakes Mark's hand. The doctor wanders over to explain some details to Wendy and Nikki. Mark smiles contentedly.
It was the doctor. My doctor. He's like fire and ice and rage. He's like the night and the storm in the heart of the sun. He's ancient and forever. He burns at the center of time and he can see the turn of the universe. And he's wonderful.
In the background, the unmistakable sound of the TARDIS engines fire up. Mark smiles, closes his eyes, and falls asleep. Fade out.